Have you ever dreamed of owning property in the UK? Maybe you've watched those property shows where someone buys a rundown house, renovates it, rents it out, and suddenly they're making thousands of pounds every month. Maybe you've heard people say property is the safest investment. Land never loses value. Become a landlord and you'll never worry about money again. But here's the question nobody seems to be asking. Is property still a good business in the UK in 2026? Because the truth is, the game has changed. Interest rates have risen, taxes have increased, landlord regulations have become stricter, and the government seems to be making the market increasingly tenant-friendly. Meanwhile, stock investors can buy shares with as little as £10. No tenants, no leaking roofs, no midnight phone calls. So today we're going to answer one of the biggest financial questions of our time. Should you still start a property business in the UK? Or has the stock market become the better option? Let's find out. For decades, property was one of the most reliable ways to build wealth. People bought houses, tenants paid the mortgage, property prices increased, and landlords built fortunes. Many of today's millionaires became wealthy through property. The formula seemed simple: buy, wait, and then profit. But what worked in 1995 doesn't necessarily work in 2026. Today, many landlords are leaving the market. Some are selling, some are retiring, some are deciding it's simply not worth the hassle anymore. Why? Because being a landlord today is very different from being a landlord 20 years ago. But what has changed? Let's talk about the biggest changes. First is high interest rates. This is probably the biggest reason. A landlord who borrowed money at 2% a few years ago might now be refinancing at 5% or more. That can mean hundreds or even thousands of pounds extra every month. Many landlords who used to make healthy profits now find themselves barely breaking even. Second is increased tax burden. Years ago, landlords could deduct mortgage interest from their taxes. That has changed significantly. Many property investors discovered that their tax bills increased even when profits did not. For higher rate taxpayers, this has been particularly painful. Third is rising maintenance costs. Everything costs more. Builders, electricians, plumbers, materials, insurance, service charges. Repairs that once cost £500 may now cost £1,500 or more. Fourth is new tenant-friendly rules. The government has been moving towards stronger tenant protections. The goal is understandable. Most people rent, tenants need security, but these changes create additional responsibilities for landlords. What are the new tenant-centered policies? Several reforms have been proposed or implemented to strengthen tenant rights in England. Key themes include ending no-fault evictions. Landlords have traditionally used Section 21 notices to regain possession without needing to prove tenant wrongdoing. The move toward abolishing these new fault evictions means landlords generally need a specific legal ground to remove tenants. Next is stronger tenant security. Tenants may have greater protection against sudden removal from their homes. This provides stability for renters. However, some landlords worry about dealing with problematic tenants. Easier dispute resolution. The government has proposed improved systems for resolving disputes between landlords and tenants. Next is higher property standards. Landlords are expected to maintain properties to higher standards. This is good for tenants, but can increase costs for landlords. Next is greater accountability. Professional landlords often welcome this, but accidental landlords may find compliance more complicated. 4 advantages of starting a property business. Despite all these changes, property still has significant advantages. Advantage number 1, leverage. This is property's superpower. Imagine you have £50,000. In stocks, you invest £50,000. In property, that £50,000 might become the deposit for a £250,000 house. You're controlling a much larger asset. And when prices rise, Leverage can dramatically increase returns. Advantage number 2, rental income. Property generates cash flow. A tenant pays rent every month, and this can provide regular income. Many people love the idea of receiving rent while they sleep. Advantage number 3, property appreciation. Historically, UK property prices have generally risen over long periods. Not every year though, not every decade, but over many decades. Property has created substantial wealth. Advantage number 4, tangible asset. You can see it, touch it, improve it. Many investors feel comfortable owning a physical asset. A stock certificate feels abstract. A house feels real. 4 disadvantages of starting a property business. Disadvantage number 1, huge capital required. Property is expensive. Even a modest buy-to-let often requires deposit, legal fees, stamp duty, mortgage fees, renovation costs. Many people simply don't have enough capital. Disadvantage number 2, tenant problems. Most tenants are good people, but one bad tenant can create major stress. Examples include rent arrears, property damage, legal disputes, antisocial behavior. These situations can become costly and time-consuming. Disadvantage number 3, maintenance never stops. Roofs leak, boilers break, pipes burst. Properties constantly require attention. Many new investors underestimate this. Disadvantage number 4, regulatory risk. Governments can change rules. Tax treatment can change. Rental regulations can change. Compliance requirements can increase. You are operating within a heavily regulated environment. Is property still a good business then? The answer is yes, but not for the reasons many people think. The days of buying almost any property and becoming rich are largely gone. Today's successful property investors are more strategic. They focus on strong locations, positive cash flow, careful financing, long-term planning. Property is no longer easy money, it's a real business, and businesses require skill. So who should consider property? Property may suit you if you have capital, you enjoy managing projects, you can handle risk, you are patient, you want long-term wealth. Property is often a marathon, not a sprint. Who should avoid property? Property may not be ideal if you have little savings, you dislike dealing with people, you want passive investing, you cannot tolerate unexpected expenses. Many people underestimate how active property investing can be. What about stock? Now let's look at the alternative, the stock market. Historically, many people viewed stocks as risky and property as safe, but reality is more nuanced. Stocks have several major advantages. Advantage 1, low starting capital. You can start investing with very little money, 50, 100, 500 pounds. You do not need a massive deposit. This makes investing accessible to almost everyone. Advantage number 2, diversification. With one ETF, you can own hundreds or thousands of companies. Imagine buying technology companies, healthcare companies, banks, manufacturers, all through one investment. Property usually concentrates your money into 1 or 2 assets. Advantage number 3 is liquidity. Need cash? You can often sell stocks quickly. Selling a property can take months, sometimes longer. Advantage number 4, truly passive. No tenants, no boiler repairs, no emergency calls. Many investors appreciate this simplicity. But stocks have disadvantages too. Markets fall, sometimes dramatically. Investors panic. People sell at the worst possible time. Emotional discipline is essential. The biggest risk in stocks is often not the market, it's the investor. If you don't have money, are stocks better? In many cases, yes. Let's be realistic. If someone has no emergency fund, consumer debt, minimal savings, buying property may not be practical. Stocks allow gradual wealth building. Instead of waiting years for a deposit, you can begin investing immediately. This is one reason younger investors increasingly favor ETFs and index funds. The big myth about property: many people say property made my uncle rich. What they forget is timing. Someone who bought a house decades ago benefited from extraordinary market conditions. Future returns may not look the same. Past success does not guarantee future results. The big myth about stocks. Many people think stocks are gambling. Actually, investing in quality companies or diversified index funds is very different from speculation. When you buy shares, you're buying ownership in businesses. Some of the world's greatest fortunes were built through stocks. What would I do if I had £5,000? I probably wouldn't buy property. I'd focus on emergency savings, investing in diversified stock funds, increasing my income, building financial flexibility. The property deposit can come later. What would I do if I had £50,000? Now, property becomes more realistic. At this level, I would compare expected rental yield, mortgage costs, tax implications, alternative stock returns, then choose based on my goals. The real question isn't which investment is better. The real question is what kind of investor are you? Some people love property, others hate it. Some enjoy analyzing stocks, others prefer physical assets. Your personality matters. So is it still worth buying property in the UK and developing it as a business? Yes, but it is much harder than it used to be. Property is no longer a guaranteed path to wealth. It requires capital, knowledge, patience, risk management. For people with substantial savings and a long-term mindset, property can still be an excellent business. However, for beginners with limited money, stocks often offer a simpler, cheaper, and more accessible way to start building wealth. The smartest investors understand this isn't necessarily an either-or decision. Many wealthy people eventually own both. They use stocks to build capital, then use the capital to acquire property. In the end, wealth isn't created by choosing the perfect investment. It's created by starting, staying consistent, and giving your money time to grow. And whether you choose property, stocks, or a combination of both, the biggest mistake is doing nothing at all while waiting for the perfect opportunity. If you like watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel and share to people who needs to hear this type of content. And you could also check out my other videos in this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!